Hi, I am Jamie Resnick from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm a CODA, and I'm here to talk about Introduction Chapter 1 of Interactive Interpreting. Let's talk. So let's talk. Up until interactive interpreting was really explored, mostly interpreting looked like from the outside monologic, meaning that it went one way, either ASL to English or English to ASL. You would see an interpreter standing at a meeting or standing next to the lecturer, and it looked pretty simple until interpreters were more in demand for meetings and places where there were more participants, and all of a sudden we realized that there was more of a need for an interactive interpreter, meaning sometimes you can have a team interpreter where he or she is interpreting all the English to ASL, and you have another interpreter who's doing all the ASL to English. But if you're by yourself, you need to know how to do both, and you need to know how to do it with these three features. You need to know how to switch back and forth quickly. You need to be able to identify the features of both languages quickly. And you need to have like a sense of what your appropriate contributions could be to the interactive interpretation. Most interactive interpretation is face-to-face with not more than 5 or 6 participants. It's very important to understand that how important culture is. And in every culture, there is a turn-taking pattern. And we need to identify that turn-taking pattern and use it according to the speaker in our interactive interpreting. There are obviously 3 people involved. There is the speaker, the recipient, and the interpreter, which the interpreter must stay as neutral as possible. The interpreter's responsibilities include knowing the linguistic structure of both languages, the turn-taking patterns that we spoke about of both cultures, and one turn-taking pattern would need to be established for that interaction. Also, how to handle interruptions, that all participants are happy and that's appropriate, and what would be the signals of the start and the end of a conversation. Interactive interpreting shows up in the business arena, for example, a job interview, in the medical arena, obviously between doctors and patients and doctors, educational settings, teachers and students, staff. That's very, that has a lot of different situations that could show up. And VRS, which is very important today, and it has become an integral part of deaf life. So due to VRS, the demand for interactive interpreting is very high, and our skills need to match the demand. The whole idea of discourse theory is very complex, since human beings are very complex. And even though interpreters are neutral, because we're also human, it's very hard to stay neutral. We have to recognize our bias and how it contributes to our interpretation. How do we know if our interactive interpretation has been successful? Since you carry all the meanings, you'll know if the speaker's goals have been conveyed, and if the participants have each had their messages conveyed clearly as well. You'll know that you've done a good job. Thank you. I hope I have conveyed the message clearly of what interactive interpreting involves. See you in class.